Good afternoon, family. Happy March the 5th, 2023. It's a Sunday. I hope you guys are having a great day. We're going to go ahead and get right to it. But before I do, I want to go ahead and thank you guys again for giving us all the love and the support. Thank you for putting up with us over there on Instagram and on TikTok. Appreciate you guys. Again, let's get right to it. This is going to be on the judge, Annalisa Torres, who is in charge right now basically with the case with Ripple and the SEC. So, but before she was assigned to this case, Annalisa Torres was also the judge who dismissed the charges on the two security guards who basically fell asleep in federal prison. Of course, it was supposed to be supervising Jeffrey Epstein, and that was that famous night that he supposedly, I'm not going to say it, but he committed suicide, and yeah, so all the charges were dropped against them. They were dismissed. Again, it was that they were on the internet that night and surfing the net, like they said, and fell asleep. They were supposed to be checking on them every 30 minutes, but they didn't. So that's how that case went. But it's not about what she basically did dismiss the charges on these two people, on these two prison guards. Uh, Maybe she got a phone call. Maybe she got a mysterious person knocking on the door, mysterious letter. You know, hey, look the other way. This is beyond you. And of course, the charges were dropped. But now brings me to the Ripple and SEC case. Um, we're really going to find out how corrupt this government really is. Because we got the SEC, of course, stating that XRP is a security and that Ripple basically sold it in order to go ahead and get financial gain. So hence calling it a security. Um, but again, we all know it's not about Ripple or XRP. It's about the whole crypto industry, the whole industry that the SEC is trying to control, or govern. But again, the SEC is extremely corrupt, led by that Mr. Burns, lookalike, like they say, Gary Gensler, that reptile over there. He's definitely, turned that place into a man. It's the pay to play, and he's going after all the exchanges. So remember, guys, he's going after all the exchanges because that's where you're going to be able to. That's where you buy your crypto, right? So if he goes after all these exchanges, only his banker buddies, the Goldman Sachs, the Fidelities, all these big institutions, they're going to be able to go ahead and say, all right, people, don't worry about, Coinbase anymore, or don't worry about Binance. Um, you can just get all this stuff through me, through Chase, through Bank of America, through Wells Fargo. They're trying to get all control of the whole industry. And that was the plan, you know. Um, and it's sad because again, everything's going to get crushed. And so this leads me back again to Annalisa Torres against the SEC. Basically, that's what it is. Annalisa Torres and Ripple and the SEC. So did Annalisa Torres get a phone call from the bankers this time, or someone at the door, or mysterious letters from the bankers? Saying stay away from this case. Similar to what? Similar to Jeffrey Epstein. I'm just speculating. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying she seems to be like she's not one to be messed with, that she has a good head on her shoulders, that she's going to do the right thing. But again, remember, it's the money. It's the money that controls basically everything. So, we're gonna see how corrupt the SEC and how our government is. How we already know how corrupt the SEC is. We want to really see how our government is going to react. You know, because if she rules in the favor of the SEC, then she's basically putting this case. She's washing her hands. She wants no part of the banker gang or the SEC or Gary Gensler or all these, so-called politicians that are in there, because that's what they are. They're supposedly to protect us, but we'll see. I don't. You guys decide, But so we're gonna see how corrupt this government really is. Annalisa Torres might say, you know what, this is beyond my pay grade. I'm looking into something else. I'm tired. I want, besides a judge, I want something else. I'm in my career, so she might not want to get her hands dirty and put it in the Supreme Court's hands, basically. And if that happens, that's 2 more years of basically innovation going overseas. And if that happens, the United States is going to get left behind. But again, it doesn't really matter for these reptilians, these bankers, this Gary Gensler who's just there to protect his buddies, his banker gang buddies, and that's all that matters to them. How can they get how can they get control of this whole industry extremely cheap? And they're going to crush the exchanges. They're going after CZ. You guys already see that. Coinbase now is firing back. So, before everybody was kind of pointing the finger saying, nah, Ripple, they got Ripple, not us, they want Ripple, they're the ones selling securities, wink, wink, wink. And it was never about that. It was about taking control of the whole industry. And now, again, they're saying we need to stick together, but at the end of the day, Ripple's already getting out of this, whether it's going to be a win or a lose or a draw, or going to the Supreme Court. They already got 2 years, in the muddy water. They're going after, again, Ethereum, most likely, perhaps. And Gary Gensler's over here, vouching for Bitcoin being the only one that's going to be supposedly, our digital gold. And because Satoshi created it, and nobody knows. And he was such a great guy, just like Jesus Christ. That's what these people are saying. And little do they know that they know who made this and what 4 people made it. But you guys decide. Again, appreciate the love. Something to think about, family. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm trying to get the XRP to the moon by the end of the month. But you know what? It doesn't work like that. So we're really going to find out. Time will tell. Appreciate the love. Stay strong. Again, all the support that you guys give me, appreciate you. Have a great weekend. Take care.